was kind of holding the week for us, but we need to make it real. It's gonna be here in a minute, because it's already Christmas next week, right?
Yeah. I'm thinking of just a one-week trip.
But you are.
Yeah. All right, anything else on this? Well, thank you so much, Valerie, for setting and Eric for helping get that set up. And so Stan could share with us. And so, all right, we're gonna move forward. We're gonna meet another Stan. Stan's been with us quite a bit. Stan Galanski, Assistant Governor, was with us last week. And so he's just become a real member of our club, and we appreciate that. But I want to read some things about him, because I don't know if we've done this in the past. For the past 30 years, Stan has been a member of Rotary International. That's amazing, 30 years. In this role, he has assertively led or assisted humanitarian project deployments in over a dozen countries, impacting, improving the livelihood of thousands of people. He has, listen to the leadership roles within Rotary. He's been elected club president twice, assistant governor, board director of Rotary Action Group for Water, Sanitation, and Hygiene, aide to the president of Rotary International 23-24. He has authored over 14 global grants worldwide, and presently he is collectively working on peace and resolution methods and mentoring in Middle East conclaves. Wow. I know we were always honored to have you, but when I read that, when they sent that, I thought, okay, I've got to read that, because we are really in the work. You're a true Rotarian and a role model for us all. So ladies and gentlemen, Stan Galanski. Get that out of your way.
So I'd rather go talk about Guatemala than the foundation, but the foundation has its purpose, and this is Foundation Month. So I was asked to speak about the Rotary Foundation, and I gotta tell you, 30 years of being a Rotarian, most of that time I didn't have too much interest in the foundation. I was more interested in what goes on in my club. But as I got more invested, and as you all have heard, I've traveled quite a bit, I realized that the foundation is pretty much the heartbeat of what makes Rotary and Rotary International successful and operate. And I just want to share some of my experiences and some of the things I've learned about the foundation, and it might have the same impact on you. But instead of it being a dry presentation and just looking at slides, I'm going to try and make this fun. I'm going to show about 10 or 12 slides. There are certain things on these slides that I think are important, and I'm going to finish with a quiz. And I'm going to ask you some questions. And if you've been paying attention, you'll know the answer. And if you know the answer, you'll know one of the Rotary gifts that I brought with me today. Okay, so the next one. Page. Let you do the. So what's the mission of the foundation? It really reflects kind of the mission of Rotary. But more specifically, it advances the world understanding, goodwill, and peace that we provide by improving health, providing quality education, improving the environment, and alleviating poverty. You look at everything that the Rotary Foundation does and invests in, it's all related to those items. The history of the foundation. In 1917, at the Rotary International Convention, outgoing President Arch Klump, and some people may know the Arch Klump name because one of our awards that we give every year is for recognizing Arch Klump, proposed setting up an endowment. Said, hey, it's nice for us that we meet and we have clubs and we have international conventions, but where are we going with this? They set up an endowment for the purpose of doing good in the world, and that one idea and one initial contribution of $26.50 created the foundation and has turned it into a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. Next. So what does the foundation do? Let's give you a few statistics. Its total expenditures each year, after all the money comes in and taps into its foundation base, is $345 million. It's segregated across these 7 categories. Notice I highlighted Polio Plus. It's the largest dedicated amount of money that Rotary makes every year. You notice on the right, there's operational expenses. And one of the reasons that Rotary Foundation is a 4-star nonprofit recipient by the Charity Navigator is because so little of the money that is taken in is used to run the operations. A huge majority of the money goes directly to serve and benefit the people that we cite as recipients. It's organized as a public charity and it's run by a board of trustees, just like the Rotary International, which is a separate entity, is run by a board of directors. It's all headquarters in Evanston, Illinois. And if those of y'all familiar with Chicago, that's a suburb out there by Northwestern University. What?
Why is the general administration so high?
$17 or $17 million?
17 million?
No, $17.
I left off. Thank you for catching that. You'll save me the embarrassment at the next presentation.
What did you do for a living, Alan? What did you do for a living?
Okay, next slide.
You can try to make $17.
So where are the donations channeled? Into 4 areas of grants. District grants, global grants, disaster response grants, and programs of scale. Now, I think all of us have probably heard of these terms. Maybe one you probably hadn't heard of is program of scale. A new one is disaster response. But all of these are the 4 major categories of grants that Rotary channels its money into. And they all have separate purposes. So let's talk about them. District grants. They fund small scale, short-term activities that address needs in your community. For Lake Houston area, you all are relatively new to the district grant playing field, but you have one right now in this Rotary year, I'm told, that is focused on partnering with the YMCA to promote healthy living. And you're teaming with Memorial Hermann and Project Mammogram, if I'm correct. Oh, I got my facts right. But district grants are really nice because if a club puts up $2,000 and asks for a district grant, the district, through the money that comes back to it each year from the foundation, can match that. So 2,000 can be 4,000, 3,000 can become 6,000. Our club that I belong to does a district grant every year because we see that like a 401k free money. So if we put money in, it's going to double, and it doubles immediately to help a recipient. So I'm glad you all are doing that. I hope you all think about doing that on a regular basis because it really helps your community. You have them? Okay.
Years.
Okay, well, then I talked to the wrong person at district. My apologies. Global grants. You all have probably done global grants as well. These are grants that are where you team with other clubs in other nations, where either you're playing the host club or you're the international club, and you collect contributions from the governors of other districts and other clubs. But the areas of focus for global grants is 7. You can see them listed there. From basic education all the way down to environment. The largest concentration of global grants happens to be in disease prevention and treatment. And the second one that's really popular and quite significant is maternal and child health. That surprised me because I thought it might have been having to do with water sanitation. In fact, water sanitation is the second highest. That's what I've been participating in. Of all the 14 global grants I've done, 12 of them have been in water and sanitation. Next one. This is recent. It turns out that over the past several decades, there's always seems to have been a disaster in the world, and Rotarians have all jumped in to try and do something at the local level. If it's been an earthquake in different parts of the world, Haiti or Turkey, or if there's been a massive flooding situation or a typhoon or something of that nature, there's been huge devastation, and the Rotarians all say locally, how can we help? But then Rotarians from around the world say, how can we help? And they end up getting on the phone or getting on the email, and they try and locate colleagues in that impacted area and say, set up an account, and let us send you money. Well, the foundation thought, why don't we jump in and provide some organization here? Why don't we set up a disaster relief fund such that when a disaster happens, if it is appropriate and if it qualifies, we'll pull out millions of dollars out of the Rotary Foundation, and we'll have people send us money, and we will channel it and make sure it's going to the right governor and the right club and having the most impact. So you can see some of the more recent disaster grants have been in Pakistan, the Ukraine, Turkey, and Syria. And even here at home, last year, there was a disaster request that was sent in by our governor. It went to the foundation. They approved setting aside money to help us recover from Hurricane Beryl. And in fact, I don't know if y'all know this, when that money came to the district, the governor said, okay, I've got multi-millions of dollars that have been made available. Which club wants to do a project, and I'll give you the money. So we had like 2 or 3 weeks. They gave us a form, one page, filled it out, sent it in. They quickly reviewed it at the district level, blessed it, and then you were on your way. The check showed up in a week. So be on the lookout. If there are disaster grants ever again appropriated in this part of the world, we can quickly jump in and take advantage of that. The last one I want to talk about is this program of scale. What the foundation realized is, hey, it is really neat when clubs try and address issues in their community, and they try and raise between $30,000 to $200,000 in a global grant. But some of these challenges are much larger and need a lot more money and probably a little bit more organization. So they said, why don't we set $2 million aside every year, and we will fund one, what we call program of scale. Any Rotarian, any club can put in an application for what we call a program of scale. But it's going to be a significant project that's going to benefit a large number of people or region. And as you can see, look at the last 3 recipients. Malaria free. Need the next slide. There you go. See, in the last 3, they addressed the issue of malaria in Zambia, where they were doing malaria treatment and prevention and training of workers. In Egypt, they had a serious problem with cervical cancer. So they put together a program that encouraged vaccinations and promoting screenings and raising awareness. This last year, India put in a request, it was approved, to help the many farmers that had been enduring a serious lack of rain and climate change, to the point that they built hundreds of rainwater catchment systems and introduced drip irrigation technology that they didn't have widespread for the amount of $2 million. So as you can see, Rotary is trying to cover itself and look at all the different ways of helping at a gradient of very large to very small. So what are some of the recent accomplishments that we can kind of sit back and say, that's been worth it? They renewed our longstanding relationship with the Gates Foundation. It started off several years ago and has actually grown. They used to match us. Hey, you raise $1 million, we'll give $1 million. You raise 10 million, we'll give 10 million. It's been so successful, and the Gates Foundation realizes that the mass community of Rotarians all around the world working together collaboratively, they think that's the best investment around. So if we raise $1, they will give $3. So in the last year, we raised 150 million. They donated 450 million against the projects that we had designated. On World Polio Day, 118 countries, which I can't even name all of them, but over 118 had a polio awareness day. It was so popular that the World Health Organization said, look, let us provide some expertise and medical experts to help you with this, to give speeches and so forth, to encourage the participation. And then the last thing that was really pleasing to hear is they picked a fifth university. There are already 4, but they picked a 5th university to be a Rotary Peace Center. And a Rotary Peace Center is a program where you can get a certificate. It's almost like saying you got a graduate with a degree. But you'll get a 1-year certificate that says that you were trained in peace and resolution conflict. And they picked this one in Turkey at Başakşehir University, and the focus there is exclusively on the Middle East. So when we say that peace and reconciliation is something Rotary cares about, they're putting their money where their mouth is. So that's all of what is accomplished by the foundation, but it cannot be accomplished without what comes into the organization and establishing its corpus. That comes in many different ways, and since Rotarians are all over the world, come from different standards of living with different financial capabilities, Rotary is giving us recognition at different levels. So you can see here, just for the member, you can be recognized for giving $100 a year to the Rotary Foundation. Some people call that every Rotarian every year, EYER. Where all clubs are encouraged to try and do that to help maintain the foundation's ability to submit $350 million out into the world. There's benefactors where you can actually say, I want a part of my estate plan to go to Rotary. There's Paul Harris Fellows. This is when you give $1,000 or more to either the annual fund, the Polio Plus fund, or whatever. I'm wearing the Paul Harris Fellow pin right here. It's very easy to reach, and some of these recognitions are cumulative. It's not just in 1 year, but it's over your entire Rotary career. The Bequest Society, that's something actually my wife and I thought about at length a couple of years ago. And we said, look, when we retire, we're gonna have so much money, but when we die, there's probably gonna be some money left over for our kids. We're gonna carve out a little smidgen for Rotary because we have seen what it has done in so many different countries. So we carved out a little bit and became a part of the Bequest Society at the lowest level. Then there's major donors, which accumulates your recognition of contribution over your lifespan in Rotary and so forth. That has to do with the individual. But on the next page, the donor recognition is also given to clubs. So every president, when he comes in, thinks about, where do I stand with how many people are involved in making contributions as a club? I do want to point out on that previous page, when it comes to major donors, you'd be surprised how close you might be to becoming a major donor. And I encourage you, if you're interested, talk to Pam McNair. She has got a list of everybody's contributions and status within the Rotary Foundation and how close you might be to your next level. And also, with respect to the club, Roger, you can find sometimes how close your members are to reaching that next level of recognition. And you have within your capacity to take some of the points that are awarded your club and allocate them like dollars to help people reach their next level based on their participation and performance in the club. So whether it's individual or club, the Rotary wants you to know they're thankful. And they want you to know you're recognized and should be recognized. So it's not like, hey, I want to try and outdo somebody or I want to try and one-up somebody. Nobody really cares about the pins. It's what's here in the heart and what you see on the screen when you see projects completed. But they are going to go through and let you know that they appreciate it. So what is the impact that all your donations have? Feel confident you're affecting millions, I mean millions of people around the world every year. And for every dollar that it goes into the foundation, 3 years later, half of it comes back to your district to help them fund more projects. And I said it's a multi-billion-dollar enterprise. we're living off that corpus. And so when money goes in to make it stronger, they try and turn some of it back proportionally to the districts to be distributed to you guys. And you're aligned with, as I said, with one of the most highly respected humanitarian foundations in the country. So, hope you all are listening to that, because now I'm gonna have a little fun with you. It's time to play Did You Know?
Dude.
All right, so for every person who raises their hand with the right answer first, you're gonna get a Rotary International paperweight. All right, just happen to have 9 of them up here. And let's have a little fun. Let's go to the first question. Does anybody know the answer to that? Okay, yeah.
Wow.
1917.
1917. There you go.
Nice.
Next question. Up first, Pam.
2650.
That's exactly right.
Nice round number.
I hope we pass out if it goes deep.
Okay, you can take one.
All right, got the
All right.
next one.
Third one.
173.
How much of it affected polio? Went to polio plus.
175.
I'm sorry?
Mhm.
152? Nope.
157 million?
Said 157?
Our guest should definitely get it.
She should get it.
Yeah. Now you have a paperweight.
She just like, yeah. She can take it.
Aw, he
Okay,
doesn't want our paperweight.
next question. How many grant categories do they have allocated? 4.
Bing.
She got that number?
Where's this one going?
How many areas of focus are there? 7.
It's just,
Seven.
it's a joke.
It's a
Come on,
joke.
Vanna, come on, Vanna.
I'm telling you, Vanna's in trouble here. What disaster relief grant was able to be awarded to our district? Hurricane Burrow. You got that one back there? Okay.
Got it.
All right, how many programs of scale have been awarded?
4.
You can't have 2 answers. All right, what's the answer?
3.
Yes,
All right.
all right. Name one of the 3 countries that received those programs.
India.
India, okay. So we have 1 left.
I can talk to you.
Okay. I'm gonna save that for the last 2 questions. So let's go through these things. I'm afraid you won't receive an award on this one. We're gonna save for the last 2. What ratio of the Gates Foundation?
3 to 1.
3 to 1. Okay, good.
We were
Next
listening.
one. Where's the latest Rotary Peace University gonna be? Istanbul. Good. How much money must a member contribute to be a part? $1,000. Great. What is the per capita donation to the annual fund needed to receive every Rotary? $100. All right, now, the next 2 questions, I need you to answer the next 2 questions. The first one is, where's the district convention? Does anybody know?
College Station.
Canada.
College Station.
College Station. And where is the international? International-
Montreal.
Calgary.
Calgary.
District.
Okay,
That's international.
let's give it to Les, since Les hasn't been with it.
Yay, Les.
There's 3 minutes left, Stan.
Okay, all right, 3 minutes left. This doesn't have to do with foundation. Thank you for your time. Thank you for paying attention. But while I was the aide to the president of Rotary last year, and his theme was always about mental health. He asked me to go be his representative at the district conference in Hawaii. As y'all remember, the district conference in Hawaii had just had a devastating fire in Lahaina. And their entire district was really, really hit hard. And so they had been rebounding from that, and I had to go speak to them right in the middle of that event. And while I was there, the lady who was in charge of mental health came up to me and says, I want to share this video with you. You might find it valuable and want stuff you might want to share with others. And when you see it, I thought of your club and your youth program that you might want to play this. So let's go ahead and play this with you.
All right, I'm gonna give you a 15-second timer.
Okay.
I want you to name as many things as possible that you love. Ready? Go.
I love my parents, I love my grandparents, I love my siblings.
I love my family, friends, food, water, softball, volleyball,
The opportunities I've been given, those things.
kitchens, french fries, my sisters. There you go.
So I was 15 seconds and you named a bunch of things and you never thought to name yourself.
No. No, I guess not.
No. No,
Gotcha. Do you know why?
I don't know. I was thinking of not myself, just of other things. I feel like people often don't really think of themselves as top priority.
they were taught to give things out to people and, you know, like not worry so much on them, but rather worry on people around them. Why would I name myself?
You love yourself.
I think I'm all right.
Cause I thought of like what I love, like people around me, not like me.
Do you have a message to anybody that needs out?
I feel like people should just love themselves more because there's a lot of hate in the world.
Take a deep breath. Think about your mental state and your physical state. Think if you have anything going on, talk to someone.
Okay. Thank you all.
Well, I have no trouble with that last one because I stand in front of the mirror every morning and makes you look awesome. Oh, I'm telling you. All right, well, Stan, do a great presentation. Have you been here?
People can come see me after the meeting and I'll tell you how close you are to your next award.
Big bam.
Okay.
All right. You know, one of the things is I think about Rotary and all the things that we do around the world, which are great, and in our community, and last week, all of the grants that were provided and all of that, but just remember, we can do it in our daily lives. It's as simple, serving is as simple as you're at HEB and someone left a card out. Just push it back. It's not your card, push it back. That's serving. Someone might even ask you, why do you do that? I'm a Rotarian and that's what we do. You know? So you never know. Yes,
We had a recipient of someone being, serving us today. Tell them about it, Bob.
I was unloading the truck from all that stuff I took to our meeting last week. And then I'm walking up to the door, a guy who followed me from the parking lot, said, I'll hold the door for you. I come in here and I do my stuff, I go back out. He had gone out and picked everything up and put it inside the lot. He had to make at least 3 trips. And I never asked him, I just couldn't believe it.
that's how we
I
make.
invited him to lunch and disappeared. I thought that was pretty.
Well, if you find him next week, he can come. But that's how we make the world different. You know, we can't rely on governments to do that. We have to be that change. All right, enough of that. All right, so let's end with the 4-way test. Really think about this. You know, we zip through these, but just think about how do these guide your daily walk? How do these guide your daily walk? First,
Is this the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
fourth.
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Service of self, people.